Dear 2125, it doesn't matter whether you're my great-great-grandchild or someone scrolling through YouTube searching for some answers on how they grew up on Mars. This message is for you. I want to start with a story from thousands and thousands of years ago in the Old Testament where God tested a man named Job. Job was a man who lost everything. God tested him to see if he would still worship despite losing all of his blessings. His home, his health, even his children. His friends tried to explain his suffering with easy answers, saying that he must have sinned to deserve that suffering. God's world is far more complex than their own theology to comprehend. Job responds and says, "Ask the animals, and they will teach you. Or the birds in the sky, and they will teach you. Or speak to the earth, and it will teach you. Or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these things does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all mankind." He reveals that suffering doesn't mean God has abandoned us, that all living things are in God's hands. Creation itself reviews life, death, suffering, and blessings, all to testify to God's omnipotent power. And what I'm hitting at here is that Job believes something we keep forgetting in 2025. That nature is wiser than we are. And if creation really teaches, the question is, what is it saying about us today? Here's what the earth is teaching us right now. The U.S. generates more waste than any country on earth, about 1,800 pounds of trash per person every year. We throw away nearly 5 pounds per person per day. 40% of our food ends up in the trash, and around 70% of the world's recycled plastic isn't actually recycled. It's shipped to countries that can't handle it. Up to 40% of exported U.S. plastic ends up dumped and burned in places like Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Ghana. Those communities suffer toxic air, poison water, and sickness, and they never benefited from our consumption even in the first place. Scientists warn by 2050, plastic in the ocean will outweigh fish. Microplastics are in 114 aquatic species that humans eat. About 92% of seabirds now have plastic in their stomachs. More than 1 million marine animals die every year from our pollution. This is the world we're standing in today. And honestly, as an environmental science major, there's days I didn't even want to go to class because I felt hopeless. What could I, a student in Tampa, Florida, possibly do for the oceans of Indonesia or the coral reefs of the Keys? But this video isn't made for my generation. This video is made for you 100 years from now to show you where we were and where I pray we are going. I don't want to just show you the problems of 2025. I also want to show you the places already doing it right. Because the solutions aren't science fiction. They actually exist right now all over the world. Germany's Pfand system puts a deposit on every bottle, and because of that simple incentive, they return up to 98% of all containers and create a culture where waste has value. Costa Rica has a payment for ecosystem services, which has helped the country double its forest cover, proving conservation can be an economy, not just an idea. In Sweden, they turn their trash into energy and converts over 99% of its waste. They're so efficient that they actually import trash from other countries. These places aren't perfect, but they prove something important. The solutions to heal the planet already exist. We just have to choose them. Here in 2025, there's a special group that chooses the correct solutions. Eager to find hope and education for a better future, I took a visit to a local eco-farm called Rosebud Continuum. I was immediately humbled by my lack of knowledge of the natural world. Rosebud taught me what real stewardship looks like. Aquaponics systems where fish and plants support each other, biodigesters that turn food waste into clean, usable energy. Farms just where the soil is alive, not dead from chemicals or monocultures. Truth is, it starts with what we all do on a small scale, and the little decisions we make each day, what we buy, what we throw away, what we choose to value. And at Rosebud, you can see how life fits together.
And then the one in the back, I'm really bad with names. So
all the life here are teachers, insects, chickens, fruit, that teach the lesson that Job was trying to explain. We live in a world where most people know when the McRib is back, better than they know the invasive plants destroying their ecosystems. Like the seaweed growing aggressively across Florida, outcompeting native species, draining natural biodiversity. I envision a future where communities learn to grow their food, restore their soils, heal their waters, and understand their ecosystems deeply. Not just through textbooks, but with their hands in the dirt. I imagine a world where a 12-year-old can point out edible wild plants and understand how textiles are used as compost. Explain how an aquaponics system works, or diagnose an invasive species the same way kids today recite sports stats. I imagine neighborhoods powered partly by biodigestate, where waste becomes fuel and fuel scraps become energy, where gardens grow in every school and every apartment complex. And I imagine a culture where connecting with farm animals is as normal as scrolling through Instagram, and way more meaningful. I envision a badge on your social media that shows your environmental footprint the same way we show a blue check today that you're quote-unquote legit. Not popularity, but responsibility and accountability. A world where recycling is not an afterthought, but it's currency. I imagine Publix and Sprouts grocery stores with recycling waste stations with materials you bring back, like Germany and the Pfand system they have. I imagine neighborhoods where recycling centers are community hubs, places of innovation, education, and opportunity. A place where we raise our kids at a time where you know exactly where your food is coming from because you've grown it, and you've seen it, and you've been able to transfer that life into energy firsthand, and not behind industry walls. God started the world with Adam and Eve in the garden together on purpose, and I believe we should do our best on earth to keep this garden growing together. Go outside. Nature is our playground and our lifeline. If nature could teach Job, if it could teach me, I pray it teaches you too. That healing the world begins with the choices we make. One small decision at a time.